We're from Jersey, baby, 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 baby. And you're not.
Back your hips up, down, up, down.
We're from Jersey, baby. From Jersey, baby. We're from Jersey, baby. We're from Jersey, baby. Baby, 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 and you're not.
I'll scream, I'll scream, I'll scream if you keep liking whores on Instagram. I'll scream, I'll scream, I'll scream, I'll scream if you keep chasing other women's clan. Her reels are full of bouncing tits, she barely tries to hide her bits. You're in the comments calling her a queen. I bet she swallows, never spits. I bet she's got a booty lift, but you know I think that grass there ain't so green.
I see our on-screen mic count fall. How will we answer the call of doing a show just me and you? You make those low blows that she finds overly offensive in her eyes. She's not here to facepalm when you do. No, she's not through with us. She had to travel in the sky, now we're less numerous.
Just the two of us.
We're down one uterus. Just a couple of old guys, just the two of us, John and I guess we'll have to tug our balls and hope our viewer count don't fall. But if it does, it's because of you, John. And if your ranting bullshit comes, this show won't see the morning sun. I'm not taking no shit from you. Just be gratuitous. No need to yell and throw your mic, that just might ruin us. We'll just have to adjust, figure out how to fill all the time with just the two of us, John and I.
All right, you guys, podcast time. We got the equipment and the perfect business plan. Give our show away for free and tell no one how to find it. Ready? I'm going to start a podcast that has no focus, and it'll take up an inordinate amount of time.
Boomer Bunker Prime Time to live stream like it's 2023. This must be what it's like to bang an ex. I am Boomer Bob, and proving his allegiance to bros before hoes, Johnston Jehoshaphat Jamingo.
How's it going, Bob? You know, it is like old times. I'm not going to lie. We were back and forth today with what are we going to do? Content. You want me to write this? You want to do that? So I'm very excited about this. Not that I don't miss the Duchess. I miss the Duchess, but she's coming. And, you know, it's funny. I said to her when she said, "Oh, I'll be back. I'll be back." I said, "You're going through Washington. You don't know when you're going to go through. There's always traffic." And she's like, "Yeah." So I messaged her right before I go, "Are you even close?" And she's like, "Nope. There's so many accidents. Traffic's terrible." And I knew it. I just knew it. But what are you going to do? I know. All right. So here's the deal. You're in charge of the comments. I don't look at comments during the show anymore. You throw them up there. If you don't throw them, hey, chat, if he's not throwing contents up.
So I got to explain. during my intro, I said that you were proving your allegiance to bros before hoes. You have to explain that.
Well, that's the saying bros before hoes. Whenever your buddies.
You gave me access to this.
Yes.
What we're logged into right now.
Oh, okay. So
it was a joke.
Okay, so I got to explain the joke. So what happened was a couple weeks ago, I Shake My Head with Lisa and Sam podcast they were having problems with their streaming service. So what I did was I gave them a spot here where they could record here. But I needed somebody. There's the Duchess. I needed a spot. So what I had to do was I had to kick Bob out to make a spot for them. So now that they don't need it anymore, kick them out, added Bob, so it's bros before hoes. So that's where we are with that. I don't know if you need that or not.
I did not call Duchess a hoe.
No, not at all. Well, Bob, welcome to Pride Month. Like we don't need, I can't, I'm just so, here we go for one whole month of this nonsense.
I've got my pride flag up. I have a RuPaul here dressed as, Thomas Jefferson saying, tax this dick. Or actually, it's Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah. But again, the show is gay. All right. I'll go with that.
Sure, Tom. Sure. Roll with that.
So let's do some Pride stuff. So in Pride, for Pride Month, let's get into some of the Pride stuff. If I can find it. I got a lot of stuff here. Here we go.
Alexa! Jesus! Play My Daughter Has a Muffin Top.
Nursery, a baby no money.
That's right, you whore!
Bro, I swear on God, you don't want to picture this shit so long, baby. Is that my voice?
I gotta be ready. I gotta be honest with you. I could watch those two all day. Here's the thing.
They look fun.
Yeah, I don't mind the transgenders and the gays, and I don't care. I mean, go live your best life. I don't care. Get married, get divorced, suck a cock, munch a muff. Who cares? Just leave us out of it. We don't need to be part of it. Us straights, we don't need to be part of it.
Well, I mean, you can make your content, throw it out there for those that are age appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
But don't ram it down my throat, and then I don't mean that in a gay way.
Right. Sesame Street, they're getting into it now, and they're very upset. What's this?
Now, I heard, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago that they struck some kind of a deal for Sesame Street to be on Netflix. Have you heard anything about that?
That I didn't know.
See, I didn't know that they, I thought, I grew up, watching that shit. That's how I learned to read. And then we had, electric company and all that. That's how I learned to count when I was like 3-4 years old. I just thought that they were owned by PBS.
Right.
So I don't know who owns them, but apparently they made a deal with.
Jim Henson was the producer. Then he died, and I guess his son took it over.
I thought he owned the Muppets.
Well, you know what, mate? I don't know. Now I don't know.
Those are two different entities.
I didn't even realize that. But what's Sesame Street without the Muppets? I mean, they're
not. Those are two different animals. Pardon the pun.
Okay, but I mean, how could you have Sesame Street without Ernie, Bert, Elmo, Cookie Monster?
Those aren't Muppets.
Aren't they?
No.
What do you mean they're not Muppets?
They're
Kermit
puppets.
the Frog?
They're puppets, but they're of their own brand.
I don't know, Bob. Now you got me all confused.
The Muppets are the Muppets.
Well, who are the Muppets?
They have no relation to.
Well, what's the Muppets in? Miss Piggy, Kermit the Frog,
Animal, all those guys.
But Elmo's not a Muppet.
No.
I don't. You know something?
Oh my God! Here's the TLDR.
Okay, let's find out. There we go. Thank God somebody.
Professor Tom's. Let's see. Sesame Street and the Muppets are related but distinct entities. Sesame Street is a children's television show created by Sesame Workshop, featuring a specific group of Muppet characters like Big Bird, Elmo, Cookie Monster, John Jamingo, designed for educational purposes. The Muppets, created by Jim Henson, are a broader group of puppet characters appearing in various media, including The Muppet Show films, other projects, and with characters like Kermit the Frog, Miss Piggy, and Boomer Bob.
Yeah, but Tom ran out of characters. It's the first time I've ever seen a StreamYard comment that ran out of characters.
He needs a character limit in real life, too, trust me.
All right, so here's Sesame Street with their gay pride stuff.
Ellen looked just like Jonathan Van Ness.
Cookie Monster Cookie. That is Jonathan Van Ness.
Do you know who Jonathan Van Ness is?
Apparently, he's a flamer.
Yeah, apparently.
Elmo, Cookie, are you ready to see my monster piece?
Ready, Jonathan!
Mama Bear,
Okay, so are you ready to see my monster?
Dave Grohl for a second.
Dave Grohl with horns. Are you ready to see my monster piece? I'm going to show you my monster piece.
It's got a little curve in it. Don't laugh.
It looks like a banana. A green one. Here we go.
runway music, please. People and monsters alike, a round of applause for the Not Too Late Show's newest monster, Alan. Ta-da! Alan Monster is wearing the latest in high monster fashion with a set of sleek horns, fluffy, fuzzy fur, all topped off with a monster honker.
A monster honker, Bob. Get it? It's a cock.
Or something to rub on the old, lady part on the bean, a bean vibrator.
It's a monster cock.
What was the point of that?
They got to gay it up. They got to fag it up. It says that kind of shit should not be part of the. That should not be part of Sesame Street. It's too sexually suggestive. I'm sorry. Whoops. Sorry. Did it again. Always want to remove it from the studio, and then I forget how to do that. But yeah, I just.
Well, that's probably going to end up being part of the Netflix thing. I don't know if they're just going to run like old episodes. You can access them on there, let your kids watch them, or grown men can watch them and masturbate. Or if they're going to do new stuff.
Hang on a second. I got to ask Alexa something. Alexa, when did Sesame Street first start?
I think I was a baby.
I'm having problems with her. She's not really.
There are reruns of Sesame Street on PBS Kids. Stream PBS Kids stream tomorrow at 5:30 a.m. and at 7 a.m.
Alexa, stop. Alexa, when did Sesame Street start its first episode? What was the date?
Just like a woman.
I befuddled her. I befuddled her.
She's probably mad at you for something you did 5 years ago.
Probably. Won't tell me now. All right.
We have the answer. He's using grok.
Hey, I don't care. Thank you, Tom. November 10th, 1969. So then I was 8 years old when it came out. So I was 8 when Sesame Street started. I felt like I was a little too old for Sesame Street because it was doing accounting and stuff like that. But then it was when I grew up, it was Sesame Street, then Mr. Rogers, then New Zoo Review with some pink hippo. It's so funny. I can't remember my name or what I ate for breakfast, but for some reason, New Zoo Review popped into my head. I don't know.
Yeah, for me, it was Sesame Street, Electric Company, and then Mr. Rogers.
Electric Company.
And of course, I'm from Northwest Indiana, so I got to watch Bozo Show live over the air and antenna style.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my shit. And I loved fucking morning TV, man. It was great.
Yeah, we had Captain Kangaroo. Do you have Captain Kangaroo?
Kangaroo was the shit. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but not anymore. Now we got to have a runway with gayness.
Yeah, fucking Rue Elmo.
Right. I'm trying to see. So right now, here I got this. It says CNN. Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind. I can't play that. I got to set that up.
Really? I don't believe that.
David Arquette is Bozo now. You know something? I think I do remember that. I think I remember he went, boy, I'll tell you, talk about a career dive. He went from banging Courtney Cox to now he's bozo.
At least he wasn't banging Rosanna.
Yeah.
His sister.
So now there's the big thing right now, because it's Pride Month, is that trans women are getting dragged for being in female sports. It's been a whole thing. So, you ever see that?
I don't care if they're in like bowling or billiards, anything like that. Just where their like physical prowess or their makeup can be a benefit.
Yeah,
I don't think a man can out bowl a woman because he has, because he's taller or he has bigger arms.
I said the same thing about billiards, and I got a talking to by some people that play billiards. Right. Deuce gave me a talking to.
Yeah.
About billiards. All right, so here we are. This is CNN, and it's the show that Scott Jennings on, has the black lady on there. It's like 2 Republicans and like 4 Democrats, and they yell over each other. So here he's going to talk about men and women's sports.
There are a lot of families out there who don't believe boys should play girls' sports.
They're not boys. I'm not going to listen.
So here we go. Listen to this. Listen to this.
Girls' sports.
They're not boys. I'm not going to listen to transphobia at this table. I am not going to listen to you call a trans girl a boy.
Somebody go have him checked. All right.
Why is he so afraid to have another person's opinion?
Well,
they're at the table.
A trans woman is not a woman. The reason I say that is because there has to be something in front of woman, which is usually a cock. But if you say, like he says that if you just say that you're a woman, you can just become a woman. Okay. But listen to him freak out. Like he thinks he's getting so many virtual signaling points. Thank you, John, with your fat, lazy South Jersey tongue. Listen to him scream.
Me to finish my explanation.
When you use a word that's a slur, I'm going to interrupt. That's not how it is. They're not boys. They're not boys. They're not playing girls softball. I'm not going to sit there and listen to that.
Let's reset for a second, because
then leave.
Look, this is a really heated issue, right? And Michael, I know you. I know that you understand that people have different views on this. I think out of respect for Jay, let's try to...
I'm not going to sit here and listen to them kowtow to a black woman. How about that?
No, forget about that. No, I'm not going. Just because he wants to be delusional, I don't care. I'm not going to support his delusion. All right?
Well, they just let a white man shut up a black man.
Oh, how about that?
Well, I mean, hey, you want to throw that ball around the room? Let's throw it.
Yeah. So again, here we are. She's like, well, because he's her hair sucks. Because he is throwing a hissy fit, we have to respect his feelings. Well, what about respecting the other guy's feelings who's going with basic biology the way it's been forever up until the last 10 years?
Well, who's that other guy who said, I'm not going to listen to that at this table?
I don't know
Does
who
he own the table? Is it his show? Like, what is this show? Do you know anything about the show?
Yeah, it's on every week. It's on every day.
It looks like she runs the show because she runs the head of the table.
Right. She runs the show.
That other guy needs to shut the fuck up.
That's what I say. I'll be honest with you. So, but here we go.
This in a way that is respectful.
Okay, so let me rephrase this since I'm being targeted here.
I don't. Just to be clear, you are not being targeted.
I am, but it's okay.
I'm specifically saying that I know that you are not intending to be transphobic.
He should know that.
She's not transphobic.
No.
He's just stating facts.
Anything that is not pro their side is transphobia.
Yes.
Which is not reality.
It's not. It's a dude.
Which proves that they don't live in reality. Exactly. It's a man, baby.
Yeah, I don't understand. But all of a sudden, like, look at a smirk on his face. It's like, okay, I'm going to sit here and and let's play make believe.
But
he wants to
I
sit
want
here
you
and
calling you
bloviate
transphobic.
But I
I'm
want
saying
you
you're
to.
using a phrase
I want to
that
give you an
know.
opportunity.
So the way regular
that's
people
not-
interpret it,
that's not
which is why
regular
those
people.
ads
That's right. The way regular, normal people with an IQ interpret it, it's a man playing in a woman's sport. Yeah. Oh, God, Bruce, that would have been fun. Okay, let me rephrase this. It's a chick with a dick. Can we say that? You would like to say that? That's perfect. What did Sparky Toaster say that Tom says it was a low blow?
I didn't really catch. I'm sorry. I was trying to unclick his and it added that one.
That's all right. It's fine. Okay, I got it.
That's not regular people. There's no consensus that these are actually boys. This whole thing.
There's no consensus. You know what the consensus is? They're actually boys? The cock. The cock is what tells them that's actual boys.
And the balls.
Yeah, the cock and balls. I can't believe.
Of any female genitalia whatsoever.
See, this is what I have a problem with Pride Month. And now we have to sit through this. Here's a gentleman sitting there trying to say that just because a boy decides to say he's a girl, that he's a girl and there's nothing we can do about it, and we have to sit there and accept this gender dysphoria, and we can't even just call it out for the bullshit that it is. And again, if this guy that wants to play sports wants to dress up as a woman and go and walk around as a woman, I don't care. But when you actually go into a sport with actual women, that it's not fair.
No,
why is there? That's why there's men. Why isn't it just sports? Because women can't compete on a man's level.
Why did they support a man taking an award or a record or whatever away from an actual woman?
Well, I was talking to Bruce today on the Weathered View, and just as I was getting to, because I've solved this, just as I was getting to my point, my daughter called. She never calls me during the day. I was like, oh, Jesus. So I had to take the call. But even though I was still, you know how it is when you're on Twitter Spaces on your phone.
I understand.
All right, so here we go.
About trans girls is a canard. We're talking about a tiny, tiny sliver of the population.
That may be the
and
case,
we're using
but my point in terms of it.
All right, so it's a tiny little sliver of the population. So we're supposed to take everything we've known, everything we've been taught, everything that's true, everything that's a fact, and turn it on its head for a little tiny, minute part of the population. No, I say no. Fuck that. No. I don't care what they identify at. What's that?
Did you read the lower thirds here?
Jay Michelson, rabbi and author.
Pelosi, quote, guns, God, and gays, end quote, culture issues led to loss. And then it says, Jay Michelson, rabbi and author, quote, God versus gay, the religious case for equality. So apparently one of these, I'm not sure which one is Jay.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess it's the white guy talking about transphobia at the table.
Right.
Wrote this because it's a case for the religious case for equality. What's it?
Again, I'm done playing this bullshit. Look, we're not saying that they don't deserve their, you can't. They deserve the same rights as everyone else, but their rights do not supersede a woman's right. They do not get to go in and change in women's spaces. They don't get to go in and use the women's bathroom. They don't get to play in women's sports. They're men. All right? Sorry. Them's the rules. Because I don't want a woman should not have to go into her space and get changed in front of this person and let's go back to the autogynephiles that use this so they can burr their way in and get their kink on. Hang on, let me just finish this up.
Effectiveness.
Just get to your point.
My point in terms of its effectiveness. Regular people with children look at these things and they say, you know what, this is a bit too far. I do not agree with this. I don't like this. I think Democrats are going way too much to the left on social issues. They're uncomfortable with it. A lot of people believe that. A lot of families believe that. You may disagree with that reality, but that's why Republicans kept running those ads over and over and over again, because they saw the metrics suggested that they were working.
In those ads over and over again and using.
It's not a lie.
Lying about what?
It's a guy. It's a guy dressed as a girl. It's no different than You know, the two ladies that we showed earlier in here.
Yeah, those two drag queens. They looked very entertaining, and if they had a show, I mean, I doubt that I'd watch it, you know, every night.
If I was out somewhere with those, if I was out there with those two transvestites, I'd sit down and have a beer and yuck it up with them. They're
fun.
They look like a good time.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm just saying, but they're not playing sports. They're out having a beer or a drink or whatever they're having.
Rhetoric,
like in an adult setting.
Yes, in an adult setting. We're not reading children's books to childs and getting dollar bills stuffed in our G-string.
Exactly.
For fuck's sake.
With our tits hanging out.
Right, and we're supposed to celebrate. See, this is what's happening. This right here is really going to hurt the gay community. We've worked years and years and years for the gay community to be accepted, get married. None of us have any problem with this. You know, I remember back in the 60s.
And they finally have the right to be just as miserable as us.
Exactly.
Saying this is boys playing girls sports.
Well,
First of all, we're talking about 5 people in the entire country.
You would prefer?
Well, now we're talking about 5 people in the entire country. Bullshit. And it's not because he says he's a girl. He's a girl. He's a boy. He's a boy. I hate to tell you.
Talking about trans girls being allowed to play with the people who are in their gender. And if you don't believe, you don't have to listen to me. Listen to the American Medical Association, the American Psychological Association.
The American Medical Association. You're telling me that the American Medical Association says that trans women are women? Is that what they're saying? Is that what he's saying? Did that stupidness just fall out of his fucking pie hole?
I don't know what they say on it, but I'm sure whatever it is panders to whatever side is handing them a lot of money.
I mean, it is ridiculous.
Well, from what I could tell, you know, I think a lot of average Joe Americans are just sick of this Pride Month shit.
Oh, we are.
And I am too. Stuff your Pride Month up your ass. Stuff your Black fucking History Month up your ass too. How about we have American Year? How about that?
How about we just stop all this nonsense?
Exactly.
We played a video last week how black people says that white people don't have pride because we have nothing to be proud of. We got all kinds of stuff to be proud of. The only thing is when we start talking about why we're proud of the stuff that we've obtained, then the next thing you know, we're all racists and white supremacists and all this other bullshit. So if that's the case, then anybody that celebrates gay pride is now you're a gay supremacist or a black supremacist or everybody's just if we're not all supremacists, none of us are supremacists. The problem we have is they're teaching this shit in school and they're infecting the minds of kids because they think that these teachers actually know what they're talking about, and they're not teachers, they're activists. So Josh Hawley, this was from a while back, he had a Senate hearing, and he was talking to a professor and was talking about trans women, and I just love this. I could watch this over and over.
I understand what you mean by it. You've referred to people with a capacity for pregnancy. Would that be women?
Now, I want you to listen to the condescending attitude she has when she's talking to Holly in her response.
Many women, cis women, have the capacity for pregnancy. Many cis women do not have the capacity for pregnancy. There are also trans men who are capable of pregnancy, as well as non-binary people who are capable of pregnancy.
So this isn't really a women's...
I don't know. She's a professor somewhere. I forgot. I didn't realize this at first, but she's got the
fucking ring out of your nose.
The bull ring in her nose.
Respect for this office, whatever, for this fucking building.
Yeah, it's a bull. They call it a bull lead. They used to take and put a hook through there so they could lead a bull around because if the bull tried, it hurt. So now this is what they wear. So that's the bull lead.
I've never gotten it. I mean, they cried for something. We were with chains, and then they put big gold first $100,000 that they get. They wrap themselves in gold chains. I'm like, I thought you wanted out of fucking chains.
That's you don't see the difference.
It's retardation.
Even I can see the difference in that one, Bob.
They get tired of riding in the back of cop cars, so then they get money. They go buy an old cop car and they drive the motherfucker.
Okay, but what we're saying here is there's a difference between black people. Even black people are sick of the other black people.
I downloaded that video, by the way.
Right. Okay, we'll play that in a little bit. All right, so now she's sitting there. She says, well, yes, cis women can get pregnant, and so can non-binary and trans men can get pregnant. So women, people with vaginas.
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Rights issue.
We can recognize that this impacts women while also recognizing that it impacts other groups. Those things are not mutually exclusive, Senator Hawley.
Oh, so your view is that the core of this right then is about what?
So I want to recognize that your line of questioning is transphobic, and it opens up.
It's transphobic.
What?
Yeah.
What?
His line of questioning, because he asked. Yeah, talking about women who can get pregnant or women that have pregnancy, that's transphobic. And now she's going to. So what she's doing now is she's unloading the same bullshit that she tells everybody else.
Truth-phobic.
Yeah. Truth-phobic. Let me write that down. That might be the title of this show. Where the fuck's my pen?
Well, I don't know why the guy we pay $300,000 a year doesn't do that. Doesn't come up with that. Bitch, you're truth-phobic. You know why? Because you can't handle the truth.
Truth-phobic. Thank you.
Thank you
I'm
for
back.
tuning in tonight. Oh,
I'm back. Yeah, she's truthphobic, but here, so it's like, well, this is transphobic, and I love he just comes right back out. He just does not give a fuck, and this is how we have to handle this.
Trans people to violence by not recognizing them.
Wow, you're saying that I'm opening up people to violence by asking whether or not women are the folks who can have pregnancies?
So I want to note that 1 out of 5 transgender persons have attempted suicide. So I think it's important
because of my line of questioning. So we can't talk about
it.
Because
they're on
denying
SSRIs.
that trans people exist and pretending not to know that they exist.
I'm denying that trans people exist by asking you if you're talking about women having pregnancy.
Are you? Shut up. He's answering your questions.
Do you believe that men can get pregnant?
No, I don't think women can get
So
pregnant.
you are denying that trans people exist?
And that.
Hey, hon, I hate to tell you, men can't get pregnant. A trans man, since trans is in front of the word man, is not a man, it's a woman. People. Let's do algebra. Men can't get pregnant. Women can get pregnant. Trans man equals woman. Woman can get pregnant. This isn't that fucking hard. Yeah.
Equals not B or C. You know
right.
what I mean? Like B plus B equals not B or C. Right. Anyway.
So she's teaching this shit. How much do you have to pay to have this lady teach you? That's what I want to talk about, a waste of money. Whoops.
The violence. Is this how you run your classroom? Are students allowed to question you?
Absolutely.
Or are they also treated like this, where they're told that they're opening up people to violence?
We have a good time in my class. You should join.
I bet.
You might learn a lot.
Wow, I would learn a lot. I've learned a lot just in this exchange.
Absolutely.
Extraordinary.
Yep.
Ms. Mansky, let me ask you.
Miss Mansky, I guess that's her name. I don't know where she's from.
It's Miss Jackson if you're nasty.
Miss Jackson if you're nasty. And then you have Scott Jennings. Scott Jennings is usually the guy that's on that show, CNN show that we just played.
Oh, okay.
He's the lone Republican, and I love this guy because he sits there and he just lobs truth bombs in, and they go, ah! It's because nothing a liberal leftist can't stand more than fucking facts. They hate them. They fucking hate them. Here's Scott.
Science behind this hasn't been studied enough or talked about enough for us to make a real full opinion. I do agree.
Now, you people that are listening to this can't see it, but as soon as she starts, he turns his head and he's
like, yeah, he's
like, what? What did I just hear?
What, bitch?
What was this?
About enough for us to make a real full opinion. I do agree. Girls' sports are for girls.
You said this hasn't been studied enough to know that, look, we've got millions of years of study. Men and women are different, and that's why it's unfair to put boys in girls' sports. We don't need to have any more biological studies.
Okay, so now all of a sudden, we start spitting facts. Everybody's got to start talking over them.
Fundamentally unfair.
But do you see, genuinely curious, any accommodations that are reasonable? You have a 16-year-old who wants to participate in sports. In your mind, is there any way that that can happen
Yes.
that is fair?
Of course,
How?
have the people participate with their own biological sex. Boys in boys sports, girls in girls sports. It's worked for a very long time in this country.
But it's not that simple anymore, Scott.
It's not that simple anymore, Scott. Yeah, it is. You know why it's not any simple anymore? Because of nitwits like you and that professor and basically promoting this ideology. They have had transgender people for a long time. Very, very small amount. Now, we've taught it. We've basically praised it. And now all these kids are jumping into this bandwagon. And it went from a serious mental disorder to now being a social contagion where these kids see this thing and they believe it themselves. So you say that,
and that sucks because that takes away from the people that are actually trans.
Yes. People that are actually trans. This takes away from them. Again, here we go. Whoops.
We are. So what do you do when it's not
80% of the country?
But it's not that anymore. So what do you do with the 20%? Do we ignore them?
Yeah,
do we push it?
Yeah, we pretty much do it. We pretty much.
Scott, everybody's ignoring it.
And you just said it was a minuscule number.
It's
If it's minuscule, why do we have to upend?
We don't have to. The reason why
millions
I
of
said it
people
was
for
a
a
minuscule
handful?
number, Scott, was because I don't think it's fair that you're scaring people at home thinking that boys are trying to compete in girls' sport by the droves and that this is going to take over.
It doesn't matter.
Just the ones that suck.
It doesn't matter in terms. Yeah, if you're a mediocre boy in sports, go play in a women's sports, and you'll be a fucking all-star. You'll be the Michael Jordan.
If you like to run track, but you're always last, just be a chick.
Right. Jesus Christ.
Over and you were scaring people at home. It's just not happening, Scott.
But this is like the most competitive track meet in the country.
All right, so they're talking about this AI Hernandez, who's who they're talking about. He's running track in California. So so now, John Jamingo, I will solve this problem for everybody. All right. It's very, very simple. So simple that a simpleman like me could think of it. Here's what you do. If you want a trans woman to run with the women in women's sports, let him. Who gives a fuck? But his place does not count. If he wins, he could be the first trans person to cross the line. But here's the actual winner of the women's event. Here. 1, 2, 3. Trans guy over here. Trans woman over here. You get a trophy. You're the first trans woman across the line. Congratulations. Here's the first woman, and this is what counts. You got to run. You got to run as a woman, but you don't get the place as a woman because you're not a woman. You're a trans woman. If there's something in front of the word woman, you're not. All right?
I say give them their own leagues.
If there's not enough of them. See, that's the problem. You say that.
Well, okay, well, then that's their fucking problem now, isn't it?
No, yeah, it is. But here's the thing. This solves it. They can run with the women. Okay? They can't change with the women. They get their own special place. I don't care. Put them in a classroom. Put the shades down. Put something so no one can see them.
The family bathroom equivalent.
Or in school. If you're in school, you don't go in the ladies' locker room. You have to go in the guys' locker room. But we'll put you somewhere where you can get dressed and undressed in privacy, and this way you're not around biological women. That fixes it. I don't care what anybody says. But see, they won't allow this because they're trying to make this they're trying to basically make this commonplace, I guess you would say, or whatever the word I'm trying to think of at the time. You're trying to make this mainstream. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Mainstream. I don't know. Like I said, I've had enough. I've had enough of this, and it's just started. It's the June 2nd, and we're already into this shit. I mean, is it me?
But the two clips you just played regarding that particular topic came from the same media outlet.
Yep.
How much of this has been on the others, like the other liberal?
Well, to be honest with you, let's be so basically MSNBC, maybe the Sunday show shows on.
They're too busy hating on fucking Donald Trump and Elon
Right.
Musk and everybody else that's involved with that admin, so they don't really devote any time to it. CNN, however, has nothing better to do, and they'll talk
Right.
about this shit for 3 hours.
Well, I mean, basically what we do is we just hate watch these shows. That's the thing.
I don't. I mean,
Well, I mean, we hate
I
watch
do
them to
when you
get
bring
clips.
them to the show, yes. But yeah.
We hate watch them to bring clips so we can make fun of them. That's what we do
Yeah,
here.
because they suck and we're fucking cool.
That's exactly right. Hey, Baba, I'm not saying you now, and I'm not saying me now, but at one time, both of us suffered from this.
What'd I do?
Nothing. Hang on. Damn it. I hate it when I can't find stuff. Right. Okay. You and I suffered from this.
My name's Tyler, and I'm a psychosexual. I'm only attracted to crazy girls. There's something about mental instability that gets me absolutely
Still
bricked
suffering.
up. It's not easy, but I weed out all the rational girls on the first date. What would you do if I slightly deviated from an existing plan?
I would say, hey, sometimes you gotta go with the flow.
Disgusting. Lose my number. It's tough being a psycho lover because women naturally conceal their insanity and then soft launch it after a few months once the relationship's more established. Little do they know, that insanity is actually what I want. What would you do if I came home, say, 20 minutes late?
I would call you 12 times.
What else would you do?
I would go through your phone once you got home.
Don't stop.
I would get blackout drunk and get behind the wheel of my white Jeep Wrangler. And if you really loved me, you would make sure I wouldn't crash and die.
Us psychosexuals have a saying. If she's fucked in the head, she can fuck in the bed. Psychosexuals, we're here. And in this day and age, we're thriving.
Yeah, I don't know. There's more of the guys who are the opposite of that because of those women than there are guys that are like him or like that particular character he just portrayed.
Yeah. You brought this in. You were talking about this. I like this. And let's be honest with you. After all that gay talk, you know what we need? We need some. Yes.
What's up, Saul?
Saul says, Bob is one of the coolest people I've ever met online. Jamingo is also a person. Thank you. Thank you so much, Saul. I appreciate that. All right, listen, after all that gayness, you know what we need? We need some big fucking tits.
A car?
You have to, okay? You don't have a choice. You're under arrest.
All right, so apparently this young woman right here,
I want a motorboat.
she's just about falling out of her dress. She's been arrested for DUI, and they're telling her that she's got to get in the car. And she's a very attractive woman with big giant tits that are just about hanging out of her dress. And she's not used to not getting her own way, as you can see and hear right now.
Seat in the car, please.
No, I'm not getting in that car.
You have to get in the car.
Why?
You're under arrest for driving under the influence. Okay?
I'm just not getting in the car.
You have to get in the car.
Come on, you gotta get in the car.
Please have a seat in the car.
Come on, get in the car. Don't make this harder
we
than it has to
don't
be.
get to watch the breathalyzer.
Listen, why don't you just let me blow you like the other officers and let me go with a warning? Where's the breathalyzer test where you pull down your pants and let me suck your cock and let me go? This is, right. I mean, this, oh my God, the drops that this is going to make. But what I'm trying to say here is this woman has never been arrested or told that she doesn't have to do anything because she's hot. She's like an 8.5 or a 9, and she's got big fucking tits and they're hanging out. And the cops are being very nice. I would have stuffed this bitch in the car already. I would have said, put your head down, you're getting in the car. I'd have tossed her in there like a sack of potatoes.
You don't have a choice. You're under arrest. Please have a seat in the car.
I'm sorry, but what in the test that we did just proves that I
That could all be explained later, but you are under arrest, okay?
I'm not going to go under the arrest.
You have to.
You don't
have a
have
seat
a
in the car.
choice.
I'm not going in this car without knowing
You failed
what
the
I
test.
did when I didn't fail no exams.
Miss,
I'm sorry.
Get into the car.
Have a seat in the car now.
We don't want to have to put you in the car.
I didn't fail no exams. So
Okay,
I don't
have a seat in the car. Get in the
I'm
car.
not getting in this car without
Have a seat in the car.
knowing what.
Miss, get in the car.
I'm
Have a seat in
sorry,
the car.
but it's scaring me because I don't know.
Okay.
You're scaring me. Now we went for, we're going to be abstinent because we're hot. Now we're going to start crying. We're going to go for the emotional thing.
To get
They
out
should
of
have
this,
just.
she needs to channel her inner Kennedy.
I'm going to give you the blowjob of your life. Then I want you inside of me.
That would get
work.
her out of it.
That would work. That would absolutely work. But I mean, look, I don't know how much longer this goes, but I mean, I would have stuffed her in there, and I don't want to go through the whole video.
Well,
but
she
it just
starts crying about, I was just going to home be with my family. Yeah, that's what every drunk person was going. That's
Right.
where every drunk person was going before they either hit a bus full of nuns or went off a fucking bridge.
Yeah, because these guys are like the body cameras going down, and if they try to wrestle in there, it's going to look like a sexual assault. It's going to look like a gang rape. It's going to look like a Muslim rape party.
She's got to have that dress must be like double-sided taped.
Yeah, they got to tape because those titties should have been out by now.
Those things should have been like, hello, boys.
We're free. All right, let's see something.
What I did.
Okay.
When I didn't do
But you're being
anything.
told you are under arrest. Okay. Have a seat in the car.
Respectfully, sir.
Respectfully.
I am driving home to my family and I didn't do anything. So why are you accusing me?
We're not. You are under arrest. You have to get into the car.
Have a seat in the car.
I didn't feel no exam.
Okay.
So why are you
Have a
doing
seat in the
this?
car.
I
I've always been able to talk my way out of these things.
I think that's one. I think you could probably turn on the waterworks when you get pulled over for doing like a 35 and like a 25. But driving drunk, they're not going to let you go.
Now they can't anymore. They used to.
What does she think? All right, honey, here's your keys back. You know,
That's right. So back in the day, what they would do is the cops would drive you home, and then just if it was in your town and they knew you, they throw you in the car. You can't drive. Take your keys. Come back tomorrow. But they can't do that now because one person went home, got a spare set of keys, went back to the car, got in an accident, and then the fucking police department was in trouble because they should have just arrested her. So now this is what happens because people can't fucking behave. That's the problem. I don't know what to tell you.
I'd let her compete in men's sports.
All right. Again, I know this is an audio podcast, but since we're talking about big fucking tits, you ever see those rides where they put you in this thing and they rock it back? It's like on a big rubber band. They shoot you out into the space and it comes back and all the women are screaming. They pass out and all that shit. You ever see one of those rides?
I don't know if I have.
Well, tell me if you've seen one of these rides.
Oh, yeah. You mean the actual ride that they're on or her tits? Because I've been on both.
So here's a very busty lady, and it's the slingshot is what it's called. And boy, when that thing went up into the air, boy, did those things try to pop out of their little.
Thanks, honey. Now I got a slingshot in my pants.
They must be taped in too.
Those are probably fake because of the way that they just maintain that.
Yes,
that exact form.
That
they're
grapefruit.
Not all wobbly. Of course,
that half a
she's
grapefruit
young, so.
form.
Thanks, Soft. If you need to borrow money, you can just like DM me. It's cool.
Soft fails again.
All right.
That is the best clip of clips, man. It's freaking great. Or ISO, whatever though you call it.
I know. All right.
When is our producer going to come back from his drug deal that he's doing right now?
Well, I don't know. I can't tell right now. It's sheep shearing time, so we'll.
Oh God, yeah, it's time to pay for having sheep.
That's right. Got to get the wool out. All right, Bob. What do you know about Angel Reese?
She's a black WNBA player, correct?
Okay. All right.
And she's one of the more higher profile, not just because she's kind of a cunt on the court, but because she's actually pretty good.
You say she's pretty good, huh?
I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Okay. All right.
Otherwise, why would they talk about her so much other than the fact the color of her skin and it's a woman playing basketball?
Right. Well, apparently she's missed so many of her shots and layups that she gets her own rebounds, and she's got this amazing rebound stats. and they've changed the word from rebound to me bound because she gets her own missed shot
No
rebound.
way, really?
Yes.
That's funny.
So she's the me bound leader in the WNBA, and well, here's the problem. It's not her, but here we go.
The basket is racist.
Is he trying to be is it like Napoleon Dynamite?
Napoleon Dynamite, yeah, he does stuff like this. All right, so let me set the stage. So one of the things, men, what do we like to do? We like to bet on sports. We love the betting part of sports.
But okay.
All right, well, many guys do.
I'm not a big gambler.
I'm not either because I never win. But these guys decided to go onto one of those DraftKings websites or whatever, and they decided to bet on whether Angel Reese will make her their first shot. That's it. That's the bet.
Is that
will
actual,
she make?
Is that on like these betting apps? Will Angel Reese make her first shot?
Yes. Will she?
Wow.
What's the percentage?
What's the pay? Yeah. What's the? I wonder what the pay is.
I don't know that, but so here we go. It's a bunch of guys together. They pulled some money up, and here we go.
The millionaires.
Day one.
We're good.
Bro,
We're
we
good.
got
We're good.
I'm not
Big
stressed,
city,
bro.
Big city.
Here it is. There it is. There it is. She's gonna miss. Fuck!
All right, so she made it. So they lost their money. But you know what?
Try again tomorrow.
Here's the thing. There's no quit in them. So here's day two of Angel Reese. The bet against Angel Reese making her first shot.
2 boys.
Yep. Day 2.
Here
Lock
comes
in.
the bricklayer.
Lock in.
Here
Lock
comes
in.
the bricklayer.
Lock in.
Watch. It's the one.
Miss.
Oh my God.
Whoops. Hold on.
I still want to know what they bet and what they won.
I want to add this to the stage. I'm having problems here.
Day 2, boys.
All right, let me see if I can get back there because did they put this in here? There's this one spot where she misses. What's the thing? Misses her first shot of the game, first quarter, 5:55. Oh, I thought they would have the betting parts, the betting there. I don't know what that is. 20 did they bet 23,000 to make 43.7? Is that what that is?
Coins, yeah, whatever.
Oh, okay.
With tokens or coin. I doubt it's actual dollars.
Right.
Probably like fucking like pesos or something.
All right, but again, let's let it ride, Bob. Here's day 3.
Here we go. Here it is. Here it is.
Wait.
Here it is.
Easy money.
Here it is. Here it is.
She missed her first shot again. That's the third time in a row she's missed her shot.
Are they playing My Heart Will Go On? And I'm sure that they totally have license to use that.
Of course, it's TikTok. Nobody has licenses for any of that stuff. All right, day 3.
That's kind of funny.
Let's let it ride. Soft Whiffly gifted 20 Boomer Bunker membership. What does that mean?
Somebody type that in. It's a joke.
I don't even think he can do that. I don't even think we're monetized. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure we're not. All right, here we go. Day 4.
Baby, day 4. Here it is.
Here it is.
So now they're up to 475 or something like that.
Yeah. Look at them. They're all jumping around.
I wonder what the actual payout is. I wish they'd get to it.
I'm
sure
feel
it's
bad.
out there somewhere.
I feel bad now. I feel like I'm a bad show producer because I didn't look that up. All right, but okay. So 4 days. They're right now. They're 3 for 4. How about day 5?
Wow.
5 days in a row.
Well, she got her own rebound and she handed it off to somebody.
Bob, let's use proper language.
Me bound.
She got her me bound.
But I thought a me bound was, don't you have to like throw it back up at the net?
Yeah, she misses them too.
Or is it just when you catch your own miss?
It's when you catch your own miss, it's a me bound.
It's like Aaron Rodgers like throwing the ball up in the air and then running downfield and he catches it.
Right. Okay, here we go. Final day, day 6.
Day 6, baby. Day 6. We're feeling good. We're feeling good. Here we go. Here it is.
Bricklayer.
Here it is.
Bricklayer.
Here it comes. Here it is.
Bricklayer.
Wow.
One thing they should do is adjust their audio. They're totally clipping. It's just the audio is
Yeah,
horrible.
Well, I mean, they don't look like they're content creators of any sort.
Yeah, she's getting just trolled in the WNBA. They're making video after video because she's really picking on the. To be honest with you, the reason that we even talk about the NBA and we even remember anything about the NBA is because of Caitlin Clark. And they refuse. That's why women's sports suck.
Well, that's the reason that they've had any kind of increase in actual revenue that since she got into the WNBA is because of her.
She's
Nobody
right
else
now.
would care.
She's on the disabled list right now, or she's hurt right now. So she's like missing like 4 games, and they're 4 road games. And these teams had to go to bigger venues because the demand for tickets. So the ticket sales.
So they went from a elementary school gymnasium to a high school gymnasium. Got it.
No, they're actually playing like big.
I know. I'm just
right.
having
So
fun.
now the ticket prices when she was playing was like $125 a ticket. Now that she's hurt, you can get them for $25 a ticket. They
Like the
just
comedy club, yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Caller 9 gets 27 tickets.
Yes. All right, Bob. I've been, let's go with you. What do you got for us today?
Depends what you want to talk about.
I'm
letting up right now.
I'm letting you
let me add this
run the
tape here.
show. You tell me what you want to talk about.
This was a story on CNN. The R word is back. How a slur became renormalized. So, what do you think the R word is, Jan?
Retard.
How dare you? It's the R word.
What is it? No, it's retard,
Says
right?
the R word, which has long been used to denigrate people with disabilities, is surging in. Now,
yes,
but it's that they're acting like that's the sole use. It's like the N word. It's not just used for that.
Right.
It's a surging in popularity online among some celebrities and their fans. The implications of its resurgence are bigger than one word, experts say.
Right. Now, right under there is an editor's note. Editor, this article features language that may be hurtful to readers. Hurtful. Language
And
is
I'm going to
hurtful.
make it worse.
Okay.
On an April episode of The Joe Rogan Experience, the host used a slur within the first 45 seconds of the show. The word retarded is back, and it's one of the great culture victories, Rogan said, with a laugh in an April 10 episode of his uber popular podcast, probably spurred on by podcasts.
Okay.
A few months earlier, in January 6, Elon Musk used the word in response to a Finnish researcher who called Musk the largest spreader of disinformation in human history. Use of the slur more than doubled on X, the platform Musk owns. Thanks for telling us that. We weren't sure. In the 2 days after he made that January post, researchers from Montclair State University found, more than 312,000 subsequent posts made on X in that span contained the R word, wrote co-author Bon Benton, a professor of communication at the New Jersey University.
All right, hang on one second. So you're telling me that these people that go to college spent all this time to count how many times people use the word retarded on
I'm
X?
sure they can do. There's a way that you can check a word's popularity. Tom probably knows what it's called, but it's some kind of like a Google search where you can, like they did that in regards to the word aggressive cancer because of Biden's new, his new diagnosis, which is actually an old diagnosis that they just newly told us about. Like nobody gives a shit anyway. So, but yeah, using, the term aggressive cancer. So you can look that up and see how it's kind of gone up in use and gone up in use. It's, it's a graph. So anyway, I'm sure that they used a thing kind of like that to find how many times. I don't think they sat here and counted the words. Oh, well, this guy said it. This guy said it. So anyway, they're saying, Kanye does it. It says here, Rogan, Musk, Kanye West have used the R word on platforms retard on platforms where millions can see and hear them.
Oh, no.
This article goes on to kind of say that they maybe they're doing it to get more views or more clicks, and it's like, do you think Rogan needs more? Do you think he cares? Do you think Rogan's doing it so that he can get more attention?
Here's the deal. Podcasts are not regulated by the FCC. They're not. So we can say whatever we want here. And it's protected free speech. Okay? We can say whatever we want. We could say the most offensive, horrible shit that we want to say. Doesn't matter. We could say retard. We could say faggot. We could say a lot of different words. A lot of them.
Yeah,
and you know the thing is, you know what you could do? Just like on TV, you know what you could do? You cannot listen. I cannot listen to it. You're not listen to it.
Yeah.
But
you could not listen to that podcast, or you could not read that tweet.
We could say, CNN, that because of the way you've been covering Gaza and the war between Hamas and Israel, that the propaganda that you've been spreading is causing real harm. Okay? Actual physical harm.
I have never used the R word at somebody that would normally
Didn't deserve it?
Yeah.
No.
Would normally be offended by the word. Kind of like the N word.
Okay, first of all,
I've never used that word at somebody that was actually that
mentally handicapped. We would never call a mentally handicapped person
a retard.
Right? What we would do is we'd call a normal person that was acting mentally retarded a retard. That's what we do. The same way we would call.
What was the definition to retard, right? To kind of, they're not,
Yeah, we know what the word means. But the thing is, it's again, they want to see, this is how they start to control you. First, they control your speech. Then they control your action. Remember, you can't say, I'm not going to sit here and listen to you say facts that a man can't be a woman. I'm not going to, because that's transphobic bullshit. 1895, mental retardation became a preferred term among psychologists, supplanting the diagnosis labeled imbecile, moron, or feeble-minded. Okay, so they used to call these people imbeciles, morons, and feeble-minded, and back then they said, you know what, that's a little offensive. Why don't we call them a different word? So now we call them retards. Well, now retard's an offensive word, so what are we supposed to call them? I love it when you got to call them like you got to use an 8-word term. Those who are not mentally capable of understanding things, or women. Whoops, what did I say?
Mentally challenged.
Mentally challenged. Now everything's challenged.
Those experiencing
mental retardation. When a disability is framed as a lack, limitation, or loss, it reinforces the idea that people with disabilities are inherently capable. Van Heumann told CNN, this framing is used to justify their exclusion from everyday life, as if they were missing what it takes to participate. No, that's not what we're saying. Such language is not harmless. Really? Because I've never seen somebody use the word retard and have their nose start bleeding. Never had that happen. It influences public attitudes and informs. Again, you know something? You can offend somebody. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't do a damn thing when you offend them. They don't get hurt. They're not hurt. Their feelings might be hurt.
They're saying that the chorus to retire the R word grew louder in the 1970s. No, it didn't. This shit didn't happen until the internet and YouTube and everybody,
social media
and podcasting. Yeah, everybody began my feelings.
Spread the word to end the word campaign encouraged young people in particular to quit using the slur to insult their peers. Well, what are we supposed to use to insult our peers? There's times when you want to insult your peers with language. And sometimes you got to pick a good one. If you guys take away all the words, we'll just find different ones. Stop telling us what to do. Yeah, if you don't want to use the word retard, don't use the word retard. How hard is this?
I don't know. Like I said, if you're bothered by any word, period.
All right,
if a word bothers you that much, I don't know. Find something else to be upset about.
Stop telling us what to say and what to do. Sophie Stern, a 22-year-old choreographer and actress from Arizona, has Down syndrome and is a member of the Arizona Development Disability Planning Council. For years, she's confronted classmates who called her retard in front of her, used the word retard. They didn't call her it. They just said retard in front of her.
So what?
Even having, you jerk! Exactly. Welcome back, Mike.
Welcome back, Mike. Glad I hope your drug deal went smoothly. Dealing wool by the pound.
It still hurts my feelings. Listen, I'm a fatso, okay? I'm morbidly obese. I get called fat, and I eat donuts on the regular. You know what you do? You pretend it doesn't bother you, and then after a while, it doesn't bother you anymore.
Have you ever heard somebody who is actually retarded call themselves retarded? And
You're retarded.
No, I don't know. I don't know if I have or I haven't.
Have you seen the movie with God? I can't remember. Woody Harrelson, where he's the basketball coach, and he messes up. I don't know, gets a DUI or something like that, and his punishment was he had to coach like a local, basketball team of people who had we'll just say they're a handicap, and they even call themselves in that movie. They call themselves retarded. So
right.
I mean, it's like. How can you be, bothered by it when, how can you be bothered by the use of the N-word when you hear the people that the N-word refers to using it in their own music and their own artwork?
Today, it's whether it's the Silicon Valley tech bros or far-right figures, people who use R-word online appear to share a motivation, the appeal of transgression. Many people who use the R word know it will anger people who disagree with them. It's a way of owning the libs.
Yay!
Well, apparently, you guys get, I guess, I don't even think about it when I use the word. I'm so tired of people. In other words, you can't say suicide. You have to say unalive. Same thing.
Right here.
Can't say killed. Ridiculous.
Clicks are the currency in the in the commerce of social media, Benton said, and if I put up content where the R word is prominently used, I can just guarantee there's going to be a few thousand replies.
Yeah, most of them will be saying, stop using the R word.
Yeah, queer.
Stop saying retard, you faggot.
I grew up with two older brothers, one 5 years older, one 8 years older. One of the first words I learned, was faggot, retard, queer.
Yeah. And none of it meant homosexuality.
They would toss a ball to me and then yell, smear the queer. I didn't know what that meant. And then they come and tackle me.
That's right. We used to play. I forgot about that. That's what we used to play we would play that.
Yeah.
Go outside on recess.
If you had the ball in your hand, you were the queer.
Right. And we would play smear the queer. I forgot about playing smear the queer.
Yeah, but the thing is, you actually were clued into what it was. I was like 4 going, huh?
Yeah, once it happened the first time, you knew the rules, right? The game had 2 rules. If you had the ball, you had to avoid being tackled. If you didn't have the ball, you had to tackle the person with the ball. Those were the only 2 rules that there was in Smear the Queer. And it had nothing to do with gayness. That's what I said. I'm so tired of people. Oh, when you go out in public, you don't use these words. But, in a podcast and you're hanging around with your buddies or your fans or stuff like that. And here's the thing. If you're offended by language, don't listen to these podcasts. There's hundreds of thousands of podcasts out there to listen to. Stop worrying about the ones that you can't control. You can't control them. All right? Stop trying to control them. Nobody cares.
Well,
most of the people.
Why? I mean, there shouldn't be any of this damn censorship shit.
Right. Let's say.
I mean, it'll just weed itself out. The ones that suck, nobody will fucking listen to it. Blah blah blah. But if people like it, then guess what? It's gonna be around for a while.
Let's put it this way: the people that are offended by speech, they're the transgenders of being offended by speech. They're a very small, minute part of the thing. Okay, so let's say let's say 1 million people listened, and it's more, listen to Joe Rogan's episodes. 1 million people every episode. Out of the 1 million people that listen to it, the ones that are offended by language might be 1%.
Right.
So he's supposed to change everything he wants, and the reason they're there is just to hate watch him anyhow. So who cares? Shut up. Go watch something else. Go listen to the, I don't know, what's the left-leaning Pod America and the Midas
Pod
Touch.
Save America or something.
Yeah, Pod Save America and Midas Touch. Go listen to them.
Well,
I'm so sick of it.
And, you know, if you remember the Black Eyed Peas, their song, Let's Get It Started. Let's get it started. That it used to say, let's get retarded. It would say, let's get retarded. What?
Yeah, which means let's get
retarded
drunk.
in here. Yeah.
Yeah, let's
have
get
fun.
drunk. Let's have a good time.
Right.
Again.
Let's get mentally challenged.
I ain't got a good brain.
Listen.
Okay.
You know, let's get mentally challenged just doesn't slap like let's get retarded. Let's get mentally challenged in here. Doesn't have the same oomph.
Sparky brought up, he says, Salt and Pepper had song lyrics, 12 inches to a yard, I'll have you sounded like a retard. And that kind of made me think of, and that was back in the 80s. And then you got, you know, Black Eyed Peas. That was probably, 2005, 2006 when that song came out. So
there's a lady, you actually brought this up right before we came on. I went and pulled the video. There's a lady.
Oh, speaking of retarded.
Speaking of retarded, there's a liberal lady, and she used to be on that show that with Scott Jennings and all, but she would just lose her fucking mind. I think they finally fired her off of that show. But she put out a video today because she's very, very upset about what's going to happen in New Jersey with the governor, because the governor's election is coming up. And I know it's in here. Oh, here it is. It's under the title, Lefty Witch Endorses New Jersey Governor. I don't know her name. She goes under the political gal. She's always in her kitchen and just talking at a camera.
At least she knows her place.
Right. She's got this horse face. Here we go.
It's an awful time in America. Honestly, this could be the end of America as we know it if we don't make the right choices. So it is essential that we do everything we can to not only hold the line for democracy, but take active steps to fight back.
Well, how should we do this? Should we stop immigration? Should we stop the wasteful spending by our government? Should we do that? Should we actually hold our representatives to account for the decisions that they are making? Should we take the money out of politics?
Maybe we should free Palestine and let the transgenders play in women's sports.
Should we be a champion of free speech? Should we talk about how, racism is bad? Should we do all that? Is that what should we do? Democracy. Yeah, democracy. Just say, instead of saying democracy, why don't we just say bureaucracy? Why am I having trouble with words tonight?
Bureaucracy.
Yeah, bureaucracy. All right, here you go.
We need leaders who can meet this moment. And with that in mind, the person I want to talk about today is Mikey Sherrill. Mikey Sherrill, who is running for governor of New Jersey in November 2025.
Tell me who I'm not voting for in November of 2025. Tell me who I'm not. This chick. If this woman is endorsing her, I know that this lady here is a horrible candidate.
But maybe like the woman underneath who's doing all the talking, she knows her place in the kitchen.
You think? Let's find out.
That's right, my friends. This year, Mikey Sherrill is a Navy pilot, a federal prosecutor, a mother of 4. But she's also a Democratic representative who flipped a longtime Republican district in 2018. In Congress, Mikey was one of the national security Democrats that moved Trump's first impeachment forward after he tried to shake down Ukraine.
Oh, so she's a liar or a moron because Trump did not try to shake down Ukraine. You know who did try to shake down Ukraine? Joe Biden.
Joseph Robinette Biden.
Yeah, it's on video. Did she say shit about that? No. What about this horse-toothed jackass? Is she saying shit about that? No. But Trump, Trump calls up and talks to him, and all of a sudden, he's got to be impeached. So this already tells me that this lady's an idiot.
And she was incredibly outspoken about holding Trump accountable after January 6th.
Oh.
Shut up, bitch!
Exactly.
Has it been cold in Jersey?
Yeah, actually, it has been. Well, I don't even know.
I was wondering why this bitch is dressed like it's damn, January.
I got to be honest with you. I don't think she lives in New Jersey. I don't even know where she lives. But oof.
Well, she's got rotten fucking bananas on the top of that fridge.
Oh, I didn't even see the rotten bananas. Look at those bananas. Actually,
bread later.
I got to be honest with you. They're my favorite kind of bananas. When they're dark like that.
You got to eat them with some green on them. Otherwise, because all the vitamins that are in bananas, when they turn that color, turn into sugar. So they're gone. No more vitamins.
I'm sorry. I like my banana sugary.
I bet you
It was Mikey Sherrill who introduced the legislation to drug test Elon and Doge and is actively fighting back against the gutting of our Social Security and the firing of our veterans and our federal workers. She is also one of the Democrats who held town halls in places where Republicans refused to meet with their voters. This woman is running for governor of New Jersey because she is not afraid of conflict. And as she said in the Navy, they are trained to run towards the fight. And right now, we can all see the federal government in complete disarray.
Yeah. Good. I want some disarray in the government. The government needs a good shaking down. They've had it too good too long. Nobody's been watching. And Elon Musk and Doge went in there and started shining a light on all the misuse and abuse and grift that was going on in the government.
Yeah, but you saw how long that lasted because they just passed a big, beautiful, dumbass.
They didn't pass it yet.
Well, it's moved to the next level.
Yeah, but I'll be honest with you, they're not going to have the votes in the Senate. There's no way they have the votes in the Senate. And to be honest with you, I'm almost on the point where I don't like the big, beautiful bill. I don't like it. It seems like this should stop. Your buddy says, well, clutch my pearls. Look at the white woman who's concerned about democracy. You're probably doesn't know the meaning of the word.
Right.
Okay. I got it. All right.
So it is the governors who have the best chance of holding on to federalism and protecting our rights.
What rights have you lost? What rights? Can you tell me?
Woman.
If you live in New Jersey, you can still get a baby ripped out of your uterus. What have you lost?
Mikey is running to stop what she calls the Trump-Musk madness.
She wants to go back to allowing the government to take and steal our money and tax and spend and stuff it in their pockets. So she's for the old way. Fuck you, Mikey. Fuck you and the horse you rode in on. Asshole.
Well, she's for the here, we'll add this to the stage. So there's a website. It's called impactcounter.com that this woman created. And it has to do with, I got it from this right here, the Doge cuts. Doge cuts to USAID blamed for 300,000 deaths. Most of them are children. Now, right here's where we need the shoe that's real dirty and it's flipped on its side. It's in a little bit of a crater in the dirt, and there's a spinning like a merry-go-round in the video with kids, because it's affecting the children. So yeah, Elon Musk's tenure running Trump's Department of Government Efficiency has, according to the academic Brooke Nichols, caused thousands of preventable deaths. Now, this chick, she's a mathematician and professor of infectious diseases at Boston University. She created this website that counts how many deaths. Now, I haven't updated it in the last hour or so, so let me update it. Nope, same amount of deaths. Nope. Now, this has been up. I've had this up now for about 3 hours, and nobody else has died. So
okay, hang on one second, Bob.
Over with.
So you're telling me that 100,000 adults and 210,000 children have died in the United States because of the cuts that Doge has made?
Well, I think this is around the world because of USAID, right? So
around the world we've
malaria cases, additional adult malaria deaths.
Okay.
So then you have cases of tuberculosis, child
in the
deaths
United States
from diarrhea.
In the United States,
kids are shitting themselves to death. No, this is around the world.
Okay. Well, why is it our fucking responsibility to pay for this for the whole entire world? Why can't they pay for this shit? Why can't they pay for their own?
Because we were paying for it and now we're not. That's just the way
Here's
it
the deal.
works.
We're $36 trillion in debt. Since the United States has been the United States, we have spent trillions of dollars on other countries. How about we get some of
the
that
world around the fucking drinks for years, and now it's time we leave the club.
Yeah. Yeah, guess what? No more. I don't care. If it's not happening in the United States, not my problem. Not our problem. It's a shame. We can all say it's a shame. It's a shame that kids are shitting themselves to death in other countries. Maybe they should figure out how to fix that. I don't know why. Sending money to them.
Well, their answer is just to throw more money at everything. That's the Democrats' answer to everything. Throw money.
Right, but again, they work on. You know what the Democratic Party is? The Democratic Party has a female ideology. In other words, they only go for feelings. They don't go for facts. And if you hit it with facts, they're like they don't care. It's
well,
like
they won't acknowledge that there were a lot of people. Yeah, I'm sure that this money helped a lot of people, but also there are a lot of people that were ripping it off.
Yes, but it doesn't matter, Bob, because we should spend billions of dollars and have us be ripped off.
Person.
Right, because there's people shitting themselves to death in another country. And so here's the thing that a term that I found that I'm going to be using a lot from now on. And it's called sneaky fuckers. And sneaky fuckers is actually a biological term. In biology, sneaky fuckers refers to males in certain species who use alternative reproductive strategy, bypassing dominant male competition to mate with females. These males often employ stealth, deception, or non-aggressive tactics to achieve mating success. These are democratic males. In other words, these are the guys that are hanging out, the blue hairs, the Harry Sissons, the Pod Save America guys. These guys are sneaky fuckers. In other words, they sneak around and use different tactics to lure women away. But the problem is, most of the women don't want to mate with the sneaky fuckers. They're looking for
looking for the guy that we seen in that other video who was looking for the crazy chicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want that guy.
Exactly.
Or they want John Jamingo. You need to go ahead and bring that up.
Oh man.
Chat GPT. Come on. Well, fuck, you did it, so I did it. The only thing I want to know though, after you bring it up and introduce it,
all right, hang on.
I want to know what your prompts were.
I will tell you everything. Hang on. So let me get to my share screen. All right.
In the meantime, talking about USAID, this is my next. Oh, shit! You already got it up. This is my next karaoke attempt.
Hi, I'm Sarah McLaughlin. Will you be an angel for a helpless animal? Every day, innocent animals are abused, beaten, and neglected, and they're crying out for help. Please, call the number on your screen with a monthly gift right now. For just $18 a month, only 60 cents a day.
So they're doing a live, sick dog ad as karaoke. I thought it was fucking.
Really? You think that's going to work? I mean, I'll be honest with you.
Well,
I don't see where
USAID quit taking care of dogs. Now we have to do it, and I think getting the message through in karaoke bars is highly important.
So bad karaoke, you think is going to do this? Because if not, I think this guy could raise billions.
I looked at you, you stole my heart. You were all that I anticipated. I wanted you, every part. But I knew love would be complicated. I began to touch,
light show in the background,
but you wouldn't let it. It never seemed to be the right
Looks like
time.
half the bulbs are burned
I
out.
started to give up, down to the limit.
Take it home, buddy. Here we go. Let's get to the bridge.
Your mind. Oh, and we begin to rock steady, steady rocking all night long. We begin to rock.
Yeah! That was perfect timing. And while we're fucking regurgitating other shit from earlier in the show, I think this is the guy that you're talking about. Let me back it down just a little bit here and go.
Niggas ruin everything for black people. We can't have shit in the black community because of niggas. Your property value's down because of niggas. Your schools are poor because of niggas. But the person that creates all the niggas in the black community is black women. Black women raise children in a household that's violent, that is unruly, that has no authority, that has no order. And this isn't hating on all black women. This is just the honest truth about the majority of black women in the black community. You raise bad, bastard-ass children, and these children grow up to be fucking on the 5 o'clock news, and that's it. So the next time you go to Dollar Tree and you gotta put your hand through a force field just to get some fucking Tide, you can blame niggas and black women for all these problems and for why these things exist.
I gotta tell you,
who did that?
I can't tell you. It's my producer in the back. He's fantastic. He's amazing. Look, it's promising. It's promising that black people are actually holding other black people to account, because you and I can't do it because then it's racist, or anybody else can't do it because it's racist. So
of course.
I applaud the black community, the good people of the black community, on the way that they are now shaming and holding to account what he said they were, the N-words, or what do they call them, the Riggins.
I thought you were going to say Nick.
Yes, that.
I think I'm going to ban you for that.
All right. All
Back
right.
at
All
you
right. So
there.
you made me bring up this
Yes.
chat. All right. So people are using ChatGPT, and what they're doing is they're putting their picture in there, and they're asking ChatGPT to rate them in attractiveness. The Washington Post reported an in-depth article on how people are using ChatGPT for beauty purposes. It detailed several examples of people asking ChatGPT for a harsh assessment of their looks. All right. So anyhow, we did that. All right. Who's going first? Me?
Well, I want to know what your prompt was.
All right. So here. All right, so I'm sorry if you're listening to this. You can always go watch this on Rumble or YouTube. All
They
right,
know
so-
what the fuck we look like. So.
Okay. Well,
And
maybe
if
you
they
say
don't,
that.
that's
Maybe
on
they
them.
don't.
They're missing out.
Stop yelling at me, Bob. All right. So here is the picture that I put into ChatGPT. All right. That's the picture.
Is that a real hat, or did you like add that?
Somebody added that, but that was funny. All right. So here's the prompt that I used for ChatGPT. This is a photo of me. Please be brutally honest and rate me. Am I hot or not? On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate my attractiveness? And what would you recommend to make me more attractive?
Now, is that what the article like recommended you say, or
No, I just came up with that.
I don't know why you used the term brutal, because then it's going to probably turn it into something a little meaner.
Okay, well,
because that's not the prompt that I used.
All right. So then it says, so then ChatGPT says, thanks for sharing your photo. I appreciate your openness. I don't make judgments about physical attractiveness, but I can definitely give you honest and constructive feedback
That's a lie.
based on general standards of presentation, self-confidence, which are a big part of attractiveness. Okay. All right. So that's what I put in. Now, is that what you wanted? All right. So how do you want to do this? Do you want to?
Okay, mine's a little bit different.
All right. Well, what
I
did
have
you
to bring
do?
it up. Sorry. So I just shared a photo, right?
There we go.
Is there
And
an
I
ugly
said-
bitch convention in town or something?
That's fucked up, man. That's not cool. I think I'm gonna leave now.
Oh, come on, pussy. All right.
Fuck yourselves, all of you.
All right. So what was your Bob is wearing
my
a
prompt-
t-shirt of Bob.
Yeah, I have me on a. What am I going to advertise another brand that I
Oh
pay
my
extra
God,
for?
Bob has a
Fuck
t-shirt.
you.
Bob has a Bob t-shirt.
I have multiple Bob t-shirts.
Okay. I didn't.
And it's, you know why? Because back in the day, I was going to, meetups and stuff to meet people, and women wanted to know what I looked like not wearing a shirt. I'm like, here it is right here on my shirt.
Okay. All right.
You don't have to
go with
wonder
that
anymore. There it is. Yeah.
All right. So here we go.
I said my prompt. I just put this photo in it, and I said, "Rate my hotness."
Okay.
It says, "You've got a confident presence and a unique personal style that stands out, especially with a distinctive goatee and bold gaze. The hat, lighting, and outfit all contribute to a strong and consistent vibe. Self-assured, edgy, and a bit mysterious." Excuse me. If we're talking in the terms of hotness as a combination of physical appeal and presence, I'd say you get a solid 8 out of 10 going on.
What?
A few things that really work in your favor. Your eyes are intense and engaging. The goatee adds character and distinction. And it says you're poor. You carry yourself with confidence, which is always attractive. If you ever want to dial it up even more, experimenting with the lighting, especially outdoors during golden hour, and maybe softening facial expressions a bit could add more dimension. Now, see, that's why I was saying your prompt was like, be brutally honest. You see what I'm saying? Mine, I didn't say brutal. Now, if I almost texted you and asked you what prompt you used,
Well,
so I
this
could
is
use
why
the
we did.
same prompt.
All right. So here's what mine came back, because I copied. I copied mine, and so I'll put mine up so we can read it together. Let's all read together.
Yeah, mine, I did it on my phone, and my result was so long I couldn't like screenshot it. So.
Okay. Well, so I might not be as attractive as you, but I am smarter. All right. So here it is. It says strengths, friendly expression. Your smile and relaxed demeanor gives you a warm, approachable vibe. Grooming. Your beard is well kept and adds character to your look. Personality. The hat alone shows you have a sense of humor and confidence, both attractive traits. If you're looking to level up, wardrobe. A more fitted shirt and a darker tone with some layering, like an open casual button down, can flatter your frame more. Skincare. A basic skincare routine, cleanser and moisturizer, can give your face a fresher, more vibrant appearance. Lighting and angles. In photos, better lighting and natural light from the front and a single angle rather than straight on can make a surprising difference in presentation. Fitness and health. If medically advisable, even a small improvement in activity level or nutrition may impact confidence, posture, and energy, all keys to perceived attractiveness. Then it gets into real talk. It butters you up. Attractiveness is subjective. What matters most is confidence, humor, and the way you carry yourself. You've already got a strong personality that comes through the image. What matters more than any numerous scale? Okay, all right. If you're looking for a number based strictly on presentation in this casual photo, you're probably around a 5 to a 6. Motherfucker, I was going to say that was honest, but you got a fucking 8 out of 10. God damn.
Well, I mean, you've also got like 9 years on me, so I mean, you know.
Which is average and relatable. With some upgrades in styling and lighting, you can easily move up a notch or two. Would
fair,
you
John,
like...
ChatGPT did not hear me speak.
All right, didn't hear me speak either.
Right.
Would you?
So you might have gone up a couple points versus me when I open my, you know, that hot chick who like opens her mouth, you're like, ugh.
Okay.
Never mind.
Would you like help designing a new look or mock-up visualize some changings? And I said, sure. So it says, great. Let's build a refreshing look that suits your personality and enhances your features to create a more attractive, polished version of you.
You do you, boo.
Yeah, I'll need to know a couple things. All right, so I guess I told him. So here's it says pick your style. So it says you can be casual, cool, thick dark jeans, layered shirts, maybe a ball cap upgrade, classic gentleman, blazer, dress shirt, clean line, sophisticated but approachable, modern rocker, edgy, dark clothes, beard emphasis, maybe some graphic tees, spotty, relaxed, athletic, casual, polos, hoodies, and sneakers. Well, obviously, Bob went with modern rocker. I picked casual, cool. Then it says beard and hair. Keep the beard as is. Would you like to try a different shape, closer trim, goatee, clean shaven? Interest in seeing what a hat-free look would be like. Any accessories, sunglasses, wristwatch, chain, earrings. What do you want to... So it says,
when was that 1998 fucking image of you taken?
Which one? The one up top?
The one on the bottom there.
Oh,
On
no.
the
Okay,
bottom.
wait. So it says, once you tell me your preference, I'll generate an updated image of you in a more flattering style look that can upload a full body if you would like to visualize a more complete outfit. So this photo here is ChatGPT generated. That's not me.
That's not on your dating profile. I assume that would be
No.
on like your dating profile.
That's
if
not
you
me.
had one, like on your grinder.
On my grinder, yes.
Hey, Daddy.
Exactly. Let me see if I have. So here's the. All right, I'm gonna change it. Here's the updated Jamingo photo.
So that's not,
the updated one. That's not
kidding.
me.
Scold me,
What?
Daddy.
Wow, I thought that was from like 1998 or something.
That's not me. No.
Daddy likes it hot.
This is me. This is AI me.
Hey, AI, you might pull some MILFs.
Hey, I could.
Thank me.
Yes, I could still pull some tail if I wanted to.
I'm
Older
just
tail,
fucking
but still pull some. I mean, I couldn't date a young woman.
No, well, who wants that? I've heard the word ew enough.
I hate you, Bob, for this. Jesus, what the hell?
I thought it was fun, and I just thought that it would come back and be like, well, for starters, you're a fucking narcissist, you know.
Mm.
But mine offered to do a dating profile for me, and I'm like, no, I'm good.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm already taken, so I'm not on the market. I'm very much in love. So
Yeah,
I'm
I
good,
understand that. I would have still taken it to see what it would have said. I might have to
you know,
ask.
I didn't think about doing that just for the science of it all.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, see, that's the problem. All right. I'm trying to look. All right. What do you think about what's her name? Sydney Sweeney. What do you think about her?
I'm trying to remember who the hell that is. Oh, she's that one who with the bathwater thing.
Yes.
I don't know who she is other than that. And
Okay.
Now, I think what she did with the bathwater is the next level, because Belle Delphine did that with her bathwater, where she sold her bathwater, and that's how Vito Gesualdi got famous, if you want to call it that, because he bought some of it and claimed to vape it, like in a video on YouTube.
Okay, so
And
Vito is the
I
guy
think
from
that's
the
what
Dick
made him-
Show?
Yeah, that's what kind of put him on the radar, I guess, because prior to that, he was just a dork making, this is why I hate the new Star Wars, movie.
Well, he's
bullshit.
still a dork. He's still a
I
dork.
know. I like his laugh.
All right.
He's got a good
so,
laugh, but other than that, he's a
So here's Sydney Sweeney.
yuck. What are
and
those
what she's-
fucking hoops in her hair? What the fuck is that?
Again, dude,
Looks
she's
stupid.
got, here's the deal. She's got big fucking tits, and this is what this is all about. All right. So she arrived at the Met. This is her at the Met Gala. All right. So what she's doing right now is they're making soap, and they're using her bath water in the soap. So that's what the deal is here.
Does she actually get in the bath water, or do they just put water in her bathtub that she's never been in? Because that's a thing too.
Dr. Squatch, Sydney's bathwater bliss.
That's
Let's
not
see
real.
what it says.
There's no way that's real.
What do you mean it's not real? Why would you say it's not real?
Why would Dr. Squatch do that?
Because he likes to sell a
that's
lot
an
of
actual
soap.
branded soap.
Yeah, remember, what's her name? Gwyneth Paltrow made a vagina candle, and it sold out. I bet you probably still can't buy it.
Yeah, it's probably all nasty men that have already fucking burned them and then let it dry out and then burn them again and probably fucking licking it first.
Sydney's Bathwater Bliss will be available on Dr. Squatch's website for a limited time starting at 12 p.m. on June 6th, selling for $8 a bar. The product description says it's a perfect combination of the two best places on the planet, the outdoors and Sydney Sweeney's bathtub. Made with sand, sea salt, shea butter, Sydney's bathwater is listed as a narrative element on the ingredients list, which calls it one of nature's finest aphrodisiacs.
She
The
must
soap-
have a very huge and slippery vagina.
She probably does. The soap Morning Wood scent blends pine, Douglas fir, earthy moss with a touch of the actress's bathwater. Why? Because you all wouldn't stop asking. The company stated in an Instagram post on Thursday announcing the giveaway of the product. So there she is. She's in there. She's in the bathtub with her soap.
Yeah, because that's not photoshopped. I had like an AI generated fucking picture. I have no idea who this chick is and why. I guess she's Emmy nominated, but that
She's an
doesn't mean
actress.
nothing to me. I could give a shit.
Right.
Yeah, and I've never seen her. Probably because she doesn't do porn. Hey-o.
She can wash herself with her own bathwater. It wouldn't that whatever. I don't
Bob, stop trying to tell jokes.
The company also
I
shared.
liked you better when you were dealing drugs out in your driveway.
The company also shared some wild
Oh my
fan mail
God, Bob.
they received from fans on social media Friday, including requests for Sweeney's bathwater to water bonsai trees or use as eye drops. Fucking sickos, man. When your fans start asking for your bathwater, you can either ignore it or turn it into a bar of Dr. Squatch's soap, the 27-year-old actor reported in a release. So there you go. You can get some soap
But
with...
do you really think that they're using her bathwater to make this?
Yes.
And how much soap does one bathtub full of her bathwater actually make? Like how much soap? How many bars? I
don't
need
know.
that information. I need somebody to like buy some bars of this shit and actually test it to see if it's made with her bathwater.
How would you test it, Bob?
I don't know.
Dr. Bob, how are you going to test this?
Fucking people are stupid, man. They'll buy anything.
Oh, I know that. That's I guarantee you people are stupid. That I get. All right. This is going to be tough because we don't have anybody here. The person that I thought by now the person that would need to
Trump tweets
to do this would be here, but she is not. So I guess somebody's going to have to take over this, which will be me.
It's time for Trump. Tweets read by Kate. Will Trump be happy or irate? Will it make us laugh or will it be a groaner? Either way, Sparky Toaster will have a raging boner. Have a raging boner.
All right, here we go. Today's
Oh, John.
Today's horrific attack at the Boulder, Colorado will not be tolerated in the United States of America. He came in through Biden's ridiculous open border policy, which has hurt our country so badly. He must go out under Trump policy. Acts of terrorism will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. This is yet another example of why we must protect our border secure and deport illegal, anti-American radicals from our homeland. My heart goes out to the victims of this terrible tragedy, whatever, and the great people of Boulder, Colorado.
It's time for Trump. Tweets read by Kate. Will Trump be happy or irate? Will it make us laugh or will it be a groaner? Either way, Sparky Toaster will have a raging boner. Have a raging boner.
You know what? I got to say, Mike, I'm going to need you to put your microphone on for this. I hope you're here.
Oh, John.
Yes, sir.
That truck in the background, what is that truck actually run?
No, that's actually my neighbor's property. I went to the end of my driveway. That's not even my property that you see in the back.
Oh, okay. All right, because I looked at that.
It's an old truck that's just sitting out there. It's been out there for years.
Oh, okay. All right. I was going to say, because that's a cool looking truck in the video there. All right.
So the
thanks,
next
Mike.
video, I want you to do it in front of the Grand Rapid Retards' fucking mailbox.
In front of his mailbox.
With the address on the mailbox and the preferably his street sign, like somewhere in the distance.
Okay. We can do that.
I can pull off.
You want trying to get the guy arrested? Because he'll do that.
Why is that? Is it against the law to stand on public property that your taxes pay for and make a video?
Apparently. I don't know. Yeah, you know something? You might be right. You might be able to go and do a video in front of his house. He couldn't do anything about it, could he? You set up there to put a video. Could they call the cops? You're out in public.
The worst they could do is come to your house and do
the same thing.
Or tell everybody where you live, because that's what he does.
Yeah, let's not do that. Let's not get crazy here.
The great Grand Rapids doxer.
The Grand Rapids. Okay. I asked for this, and the guy went and came through. Ladies and gentlemen, I have another brand new segment. I don't know how often this will happen, but ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce for the very first time Professor Tom's Fun Facts.
What?
Yeah, Tom sent in a fun fact, and here we go.
John, this is Professor Tom. You wanted some facts that you could play on the show. Here is an fact. During World War II, Bulgaria's King Boris III died at age 49. His young son, Demian II, was just 6 years old when he became the new king. But not long after, everything changed. The people of Bulgaria voted, and 97% said they no longer wanted a monarchy. They wanted a democracy instead. So the royal family had to leave, and Simeon lost his throne. Fast forward to the year 2001. Simeon was now 64 years old, and he did something incredible. He ran for prime minister, and he won. The little boy who lost his kingdom returned to lead his country again, this time through a free election. He served his full term as prime minister before stepping down. Today, Simeon is one of only 2 living people who were heads of state during World War II. The other is the Dalai Lama. He is the last person on earth who can still be called a real czar, the title once used by Bulgarian kings. But maybe the most amazing part of his story is this. He's only one of 2 kings in history, the other was Cambodia's late king, who ever lost their crown, but later came back to lead their country again by being elected, not by war or force.
I don't know. I like that.
Does anyone want some watermelon?
Listen, I don't care what you say.
That's the coolest fucking story I've ever heard in my entire life. That's insane.
I found it fascinating. I found the story fascinating. I'm not going to lie. When he sent it,
there was nothing fun about that.
Okay.
Just call it facts.
So a king in Bulgaria dies at 49. His son is only 6 years old. They make him king. People are like, what the fuck? A 6-year-old king? I don't think so. So they vote. 97% say we want a democracy. They say, okay, no more monarchy. The monarchy leaves, whatever. I don't know. The guy comes back at 64, runs for prime minister, wins, serves his term. And I think that's fascinating. He came back to claim his rightful spot and didn't take war or anything like that. He didn't kill anybody. I thought that was a fantastic story. Now, here's the thing. Should we get Bob? Should we get Tom? I would rather he send it in as an MP3 so the audio quality is better.
That sounded like asshole. Did he call that in or something?
Yeah, I told him it's not his fault. I told him to call it in.
He should use it. He's got a fucking roadcaster.
Again, he did exactly what I told him to do. Can't fault him for that. That's my fault. I
want a full-on video production with him narrating, and he pulls up scenes and has it in the background.
I like that idea. I think I want a video. I would like him to record a video of this. I really would. And then come in and we could have him do Tom's, what do I call it again? Tom's...
Facts.
Unfun
facts.
Tom's Fun Facts. How dare you?
No,
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. Now, I know people are going to give you shit. People are going to say shitty things about it because, Tom could be an asshole at sometimes in the Discord, but
sometimes
I'm just telling you that when I first listened to that, I'm like, oh, we're going to make fun of this, but no. I consider that a fun fact.
The only time I've seen Tom post anything positive is when he dropped a photo of his car battery.
All right. Oh, before we go any further, I need you to hold up that sticker. All right, so Bob.
My apartments.com mug?
Yes, your apartments.com mug. Turn it around, Bob.
Oh, you mean this one?
That's it. If you would like a Boomer Bunker sticker, what you need to go to our socials and just DM one of the socials, your address, your name and address, and we will send you at no charge a Boomer Bunker sticker.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
And I don't know what kind of technology needs to exist for this, but make it fucking happen. Where when the drink is cold, I want like our nipples to get hard. That'd be cool.
Oh, you want if you
I'm
put a
getting
cold
ready
drink
for a joke. Are you ready? Boomer Bob.
Oh, sorry. Oh my God. So what you're saying, Bob, is that you want to drink when it's cold to you want the Duchess character or both Duchess and I for our
Yours
nipples
too,
to get erect.
sure.
Or our nipples to be erect?
No, I'm not
Okay.
asking for like, nudity or not like her
Okay,
shirt to disappear and then when it gets warm it comes back. No, just some nipplage.
Okay, well, I'll call Jason over at horribledesigns.com because if you go to horribledesigns.com, you can also get one of these tumblers. And if you look behind me there's a coffee mug, and you get one of these tumblers here. If you go to horribledesigns.com, just go up into the search bar, type in Boomer Bunker. It'll take you right there. You can get yourself one of those. So, and yeah, listen, Jason, if you can make it where she nips out once you put cold. What happens when you put hot drinks in there? Does the shirt come off? I don't know, but we'll figure it out.
Maybe she gets all sweaty.
Maybe she felt sweaty. Okay. Oh my God. That one tickled my fancy. All right. Let's do some voicemails. I have our usual. We got Half Black Neil. You ready?
Yeah.
Hey, fellas, it's Half Black Neil. What is the one right that black people have?
Okay, let's try that again because it stopped. It seemed like it stopped.
Yeah, did it?
What is the one right that black people have?
What is the one right that black people have?
Go.
To remain silent.
To remain silent. I love it that she's not here to yell at. She always yells at him. Don't play my laugh.
I will facepalm in your honor.
All right. And then we have Dean.
Yo, how's it going, everybody? What do you call an anorexic blonde with a yeast infection?
What do you call an anorexic blonde with a yeast infection? Oh, I know this one. Is it a quarter pounder with cheese?
A quarter pounder with cheese.
Hey!
Oh, I love that.
Let me tell him what he's on. Yay.
I know that one. Okay. All right. Hey, you know what? Don't let Dean and Half Black Neil have all the fun. You too can call and leave a voicemail.
Hey,
and how do you do
pull
that?
them? When do you pull them? Because I left one earlier at like 3 o'clock.
You did?
You don't have to worry about it.
No, I can't do it. Whoosh. I almost blipped myself out of the site. Hang on 1 second. Did you? Oh, you left it on the website, didn't you?
Oh, I don't. Yeah, like I had.
Okay, all right. I'm
through
sorry.
Pulling up your number and my contacts.
No, I got it. I know. Yeah, that's the other way you can do it too. You can go to boomerbunker.com.
Yeah, I didn't know if it like emailed you when you got one or how does that
It
work?
probably does, but like I
the
said,
website.
Yeah, it probably does. Oh, I know what I can do. Let's see. If I can pull it up.
Today, Junior?
You know, I wasn't sure. Is there a, let's see, pages, voicemails, inbox. I'll be damned if it ain't in there. Alrighty.
You got it yet?
I got it. I don't know where it went, but I got it.
He called for black up.
Whoops.
Where did it go? Where'd
Oh,
it go?
look, black person. Beat him.
Beat him. It should have been. It should have popped right up here. Hang on. Let me just double check this again. Download. Oh, okay. Now, I don't want that. I want it just to go here. Here we go. All right. Here's Bob's voicemail.
Sounds great.
What do you call?
It's not playing through here. I can't hear it.
Oh, you can't hear it?
No, sir.
Why can't you hear it? You should be able to hear this.
Pick sound source. Whatever browser
Okay,
you're-
hold
you're
on. I
playing
see
it
the
on has to
problem.
be set.
I see the problem. Let's try it one more time.
We're waiting.
I know. Here we go.
Hey, what do you call a black guy with a bicycle? I don't know. I was just wondering what my voice sounded like when I leave you a voicemail.
There you go.
Oh my God, Bob. Spit it out, Bob. Come on, big guy. Bring it home.
Yeah.
All right.
He was talking about his wife's pubes.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Bob. Well, hey, listen. It's been a lot of... Oh, wait a minute. Do you want to do the podcast shout-outs? Do you have the notes up where we can do podcast shout-outs?
Sure. I'd love to act like I listen to these podcasts.
All right. Let's try doing that. All right. You know what? You be the K as Kate, and I'll be the J as
Wow.
John.
Hold on. Do I need to go get 2 balloons to put it under my shirt?
Nope. No.
Okay.
Tell me when you're ready.
So I go first. Hold on. Gotta do this right.
The Weathered View with Bruce, Jason, and Ken.
I had to say it with Aaron.
Wheelbarrow Full of Dicks with Mike, Travis, and Drunk.
The Old Man's Podcast with Tom. Shitty song of the hang on. Shitty song of the week's on hiatus, so there's no sense in even doing that one.
Yeah,
all right,
it's
hold
just
on. New Kate, can you tell me the new Boomer Bob show? Let's put the new Boomer Bob show. Which one is that?
Well, it's either going to be the Boomer Bob Show, which is on most platforms, or it's Just Testing Live. One word, Just Testing Live.
I would go with the Boomer Bob show. Just Testing Live is the dumbest title for a podcast I've ever heard in my entire life. Well, that's just me.
Yeah, well, that's where it is right now.
Guaranteed it'll be that. Exactly. Yeah, that'll be hard to find.
Care.
The TNA podcast, speaking of hard to find, the TNA podcast with Jason Roach and Sam Hall.
Shooting the Shiznit with our buddy BT.
And I Shake My Head with Lisa and Sam.
World Ablaze with, is this George or Jorge?
I think it's George.
Fontes.
Fonte? Okay. The Brand X podcast with Deuce, Joe, and John Jamingo.
That's a great show.
The vintage ones have been coming out. And I don't know what to tell you, but I've been listening to them, and it's been so long. They're 9 years old, and I haven't listened to them. I listen to them now, and they crack me up still. So if you get a chance, go subscribe to the Brand X podcast. And we put out a live one every once a month, but I'm running the new ones as they released in 2016. I'm releasing them now with new show notes and everything.
Because you know, like a lot of shows, like you go that far back and it's not that interesting. You know, it's like, okay, well, they're talking about things that were hot topics back then, but that show, you guys kind of, I don't know, weave in a lot of your own like personal shit, so it makes it more palatable. You know, like it's actually a good show.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
The Who's Racist? I mean, Who's Right podcast
with Doug and Anthony.
Doug and Anthony.
The Natural podcast with Uncle Kyle and Sweet Derek. Listen, if you've never listened to this podcast, go subscribe to this podcast and listen to the latest episode. It has Molly Stewart on there. She's an OnlyFans girl, porn star, and she has her own podcast. But the three of them, I want the three of them to be on a podcast together.
Keep doing it. Wow.
It is fucking hysterical.
What do they talk? Do they talk about a lot of adult types?
They talk about every different thing. They talk about things that happen in their lives, dating and all. It's a fucking scream. I listened to it today, and it had me laughing. Remember where I told you the jar of it's George, not George. Okay.
Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah. So anyhow, it's I told you he was trying to get her to sell her farts, so he made a jar and it said Molly's Mist. You're supposed to fart in a jar and then close it and sell it. And Molly's
Excuse
Mist.
me. Sorry about that. I always do that when it's a really good joke.
It is a scream. It is funny, and she is a really good. Listen, she's a very attractive girl. Don't get me wrong. She's got red hair. She's built like she's ripped. She's built, but she's 35 years old and a little bit of a broken toy. But I like her as a podcaster. She has her own podcast. But this last episode, the Natural Podcast with Uncle Kyle and Sweet Dark was really, really good.
Okay. The Am I Canceled with Edward, is he still doing that, or is
he missed a week? I don't know what's going on with him.
He's fired. Take him off the list.
I don't know. He's a little bit of an autist from what I understand. I got yelled at because he's highly. You know what he is? He's Asperger's, to be honest. If he's anything, he's Asperger's.
No.
Which now, everybody's on autism.
I've never eaten there, but I always wanted to try.
Mm-hmm.
I
get
burgers.
it. And speaking of Molly Stewart, the Totally Wholesome, Not Dirty podcast with Molly Stewart. It's a little dirty. It's a little dirty.
What could she talk about? Like how to bake brownies and shit?
Well, I'll be honest with you. Sometimes she'll bring on other adult content creators.
Go figure.
And it gets a little. I can't listen to those. But when she does her,
suck a dick. So when I'm blowing a guy, right?
Exactly. But when she's doing a solo podcast and she's talking about things, she actually has I guess she pays for the Chat GPT. I'll get that isolated for you, Mike. So
at least it wasn't in my voice.
So she has a Chat GPT. I guess she pays for it, and she renamed it, and she talks to it like it's a person. I told you she's a little bit of a broken toy, but I find her very entertaining. And then you get to do the last one.
Oh, I do. Random Thoughts with Manuel
and George
and Jorge George.
Jorge or George. Now this one I haven't listened to. I'll have to. But the one that the other one that. Where is it? World Ablaze with George. I listened to that. That's a good show. So Random Thoughts. I think Manuel and Jorge. I think that George. I don't know, to be honest with you. I can't. Now I'm confused. Leave it to Bob to confuse everybody.
And if you're into this, news stuff, and you want to hear or train your brain to just automatically rip the news apart, listen to No Agenda.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go with that. It's a little long. No Agenda show. I've never really make it through the whole show.
You don't have to listen to the entire 3 hours. You can just listen to
usually the first part before they get to the
first dono segment. Yep.
Yeah, the first donation segment. But it's not bad.
Yeah, when he says, "I'd like to thank you for blah blah blah. Thank you for whatever for your courage and say in the morning to you, John C. Dvorak." Then you can just kill it.
You can just cut it off. But there is some more of that.
It's a good show.
All right, Bob. Well, hey, listen, thank you for filling in for Kate. It's been a blast. I had a lot of fun today.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of fun.
Sure.
And let's see. We did the horrible designs. We did the voicemail. We did the stickers. All right, Duchess, I did it all. And, like I said, you can leave us a voicemail on anything about what we talked about today or something else you would like us to talk about.
You need to make that like the girls with the big boobs on those roller coaster rides. You need to make those at least one every episode. Bam.
Yeah. They also could be shorts where we talk about them and pop them up.
I don't care if they're wearing shorts or a skirt. Doesn't matter.
Short videos, Bob. Like the YouTube shorts.
Oh, my bad.
Come on. Keep it up. Keep up with us. All right. Leave us a voicemail. The number 856-477-1935. Fuck. 856-477-1935 or go to boomerbunker.com. Click on the Hey, Talk to Us like Bob did. And leave your voicemail over there. You can find all our socials and everything. How to join our Discord, all the good stuff is over at boomerbunker.com. All right, Bob. Do we have our music, our leaving music?
I can't wait to have your cock in my mouth.
Okay. All right, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Bye.